why is land valuable? Why is land valuable? Have you ever asked ourselves the reason why land is valuable? Wars have been fought, battles have been fought, nations have been conquered, land has been taken over, blood has been shed over land. From time immemorial, land has been one of the most valuable things in the whole world. Of recent, I posted something online and I said that everywhere is red, but real estate is blue. Okay, let me explain. So, of recent, there was a market meltdown that happened in Asia, and of course, automatically it spread across the whole world. And I was telling people, I said, see, that's one thing about real estate: slow, steady, stable. Slow, steady, stable. And what gives real estate that kind of power is land. The element of land is what gives real estate that kind of power. My name still remains Okwe Oluwa Oni. So one thing I want you to do right now is that go and like, follow, and share. You can also comment, ask questions, and anything that you really, really want us to expatiate on, ask question. Okay. So let's go into it now. The world population as of 1950, thereabout, was about 5 million people, 5 billion people. Nigeria population was about 50 billion people. As I'm talking to you right now, Nigeria is over 220 million people. The world population is 8.6 billion people. At some point, there was no country that exceed 800 million in population. Now we have two countries that is over 1.2 billion in population. So a lot of things have changed, right? Population keeps increasing, whereas the land that is so important is very stable. I'm going to get there shortly. So what are the things we use land for? Housing, animal, wildlife, agriculture. Land absorbs a lot of water, absorbs a lot of CO2 because plant grows on them, and a lot of environmental pollution are bored by land. They emit a lot of oxygen for us to even breathe in, right? And a whole lot of stuff we get from land, natural resources and all of this. Everything useful, everything about land is very, very useful. And else we have not even discovered it yet. Okay, so land is so valuable beyond even real estate, right? Beyond real estate. So a lot of things are actually competing for land. A lot of things are actually competing for land. But unfortunately, the surface area of the world, right? More than 75% of it is made up of water, and 25% of it is made up of land. Out of that 25%, 13% of it is made up of desert and frozen ice. So technically 13% is uninhabitable. So we only have 12% of the surface area of the earth that we can live. Out of that 13%, there are mountains, areas that are too cold for human beings to habit, right? So we only have what? 12% for us to habit. Out of this 12%, flood, desertification, surge in the water level of the ocean because of the climate change is affecting this same 12%. And what more is affecting this 12%? The volume of people that want to occupy this 12% is also increasing, right? Also increasing. Massive. So these are some of the things that is making land availability to be very, very, very scarce. And this same, imagine, look at the statistics I gave earlier, that just about 50 to 60 years ago, the world population was less than 5 billion. But right now we are over 8 billion. This 8 billion need food to eat. This 8 billion need house. This 8 billion need fresh water. And all of this can only be found on land. You see, right now, simple law of economics, right? When supply is limited, right, and demand keeps increasing, only one thing goes up, which is what is price. And the technology that will help us to manufacture more land has not been discovered. In fact, we keep reclaiming. That's the why we use the word reclaim. We reclaim what used to be land, not that the land increased. No, land has not increased. But judicious use of land is really, really the future. But that's not where we are actually going. You might wonder, how did we even arrive here? At some point, most of the land that we have today does not have ownership. They do not have ownership, right? I mean, people were not even, the first early humans were not even farming, right? They were basically hunter and scavengers. Later on, they discover farming. So land from no ownership, now ownership. Okay, this is my farmland, this is your farmland, and all of those things. When people settle at a land for the very first time from different settlements, probably because they were sent away, probably they committed a crime and all of those things. So they became scavengers, they became excommunicado, and they were sent away. They moved to a particular location, and when they moved to these particular locations, automatically, this new location that they move into, they need to settle down, they need to build a house, they need to form a community, they need to start farming, and family start increasing. As family is increasing, automatically the number of dependents keeps increasing. And because the number of dependents keep increasing, they need to hunt for meat, protein, plant food to eat, and also have something to trade. Some of these people have crafts that they are good at, and some of these crafts that they are good at too has its roots in farming. Okay, some of them are basket weavers and all of those things. It has its roots in farming. So farming and land has always been very, very important. So later on, this guy hold some of these things for a very long time, and cities begin to develop. I mean, the Oyole Empire, I mean, the Lagos, so cities begin to emerge and develop, and the city to begin to expand. Some of these places that were for land farming before, people begin to acquire them strategically in with the emphasis that the city is going to expand and those lands are going to now command value. So people begin to now see more and more reasons why some of these lands are valuable. And I mean, during the agri era, land that are close to water are usually very, very, very valuable. Lands that are table are usually very, very, very valuable. Okay, so these are some of the things that gives land, I mean, its value in those days. But these days, right now, land that are close to city center are usually very, very, very valuable. In fact, one of the things we usually say is that anywhere that is within 10 to 20 minutes drive from an existing city center is also a potential city. And the difference is basically time. So if you give it enough time, it becomes a city center or a thriving metropolis too on its own. Okay, so now city begin to emerge. I mean, people begin to move further inside, and note one thing. Okay, some of the places that were Greek land became major city, and some of the areas that were thick forests were converted to Greek land, and some of the areas that were thick forests were converted to Greek land. The new Greek land became a city extension, suburbs, and all of those stuff. So at every point in time, every piece of land does not have a permanent usage or state. It's not in a permanent state, and those states keep changing and see. For anybody that is in real estate needs to understand this. I call this the metamorphosis of land. If you don't understand the metamorphosis of land, you cannot win big in real estate. You can't win big in real estate, okay? So land transition in usage, in purpose over a period of time. And afterwards, some of these cities too were not properly utilized. And you see, there's limits to how much a city can expand, right? After it expands, it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes drive. You have to look at the real estate within that area. How can we repurpose some of the buildings within this area so that we can judiciously use it? These are some of the things that are happening in places like Lekki, Victoria Island, VI, Yaba, Butemeta, Surulere. You see buildings that are just one single bungalow built on 3,000 square meter, compound massive and all of those things. So there are new land laws or new building codes that now allow people to build multi-tenanted properties within some of this community, and that gives back to what we call urban regeneration, because these areas are fully urban area already, right? So what we now have is that a piece of land that cannot build more than 4 or 5 occupants now can take 20, 30 occupants, okay? So urban regeneration basically is rebirthing or rebuilding or giving back to the urban area with a new sense of purpose, with a new sense of utility, right? Utilizing the land that is available before, because see, it's very simple. Everybody needs to understand that in the real sense of thing, what carries the value in real estate is land. Yes, what you build on it is actually what will give you the cash flow, but the carrier of the value itself is land, because that is the limited resources. I mean, look at a piece of land can take up to a kilometer high rise building. Okay, so you can keep going up when it comes to building, but you can't keep expanding when it comes to land, because it is finite. So we need to understand that. So what are the things that really make this land move from one stage to the other? I've explained some of them, but let me just quickly run through them as I itemize them. Number one is people. Population keeps increasing. Population keeps increasing. Opportunities in urban area and industrialization keeps moving. At some point, we have what we call the Lupeju industrial area. We have what they call the Ogba industrial area. We have what they call the Alausa industrial area. But most of those industrial areas are now moving to the outskirts of Lagos for different reasons. Tax exemption, easy export, access to better infrastructures, and cost of living too for their workers sometimes are even cheaper, and properties are even much more cheaper in some of those areas. So these are possibilities. Then government deliberate efforts too. So there are areas that government gives deliberate effort to, or priority attention to. These are some of the reasons why this metamorphosis happen to land, and why land is usually very, very, very valuable. Okay, industrialization. Some remote area that are basically forests, right? Swamps. Government will just move a particular scheme there to drive volume of people towards that. That's what happened to Ibeju-Lekki, and today, boom, 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 Ibeju-Lekki, Lekki Peninsula Master Plan was released. Boom, a lot of people moved to that area, affecting Epe, affecting Ijebu-Ode, affecting Ikorodu right now. Massive, right? On a large scale. Major development by individuals and institutes. Schools move to a particular area because they need expanse of land. Boom, development moves towards too. Okay, so these are some of the things. And good topography. There are some land. If you notice, there are some areas in the city center that still have some land, and you'll be wondering, this land is still available. Are you sure? I say yes. The reason is that probably the topography of the land is not good, or the texture of the land is not good. Those are land that people usually sell. I mean, some of these lands are probably you need to do power, they're matchy, they're going to be more expensive to build on. But because the scarcity and the value that land is going to command too is as high as, I mean, if you want to probably do a pile foundation and you add it up to the cost of buying that land at a matching ground, you still see that you can still get your value from it, okay? And sometimes, which way I'm going to be stopping because of our time today, frenzy, market buzz also gives value to a location. Some people just get crazy about a location and they keep marketing it, and it makes everybody like, this is the in thing. And basically, sometimes nothing really special that is happening towards that area. It could be something that ignites, just like a wildfire effect, right? Somebody is camping somewhere and ignites a fire, and all of a sudden, everywhere is boom, fire everywhere. and you'll be wondering, how did we get here? Okay, and the Wi-Fi has started taking cities, homes, and all of those things. That's the effect of marketing. Okay, so you're asking yourself, why is land valuable? Here are some of the reasons why land is valuable. My name still remains Okpe Oluwa Oni. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow. Bye.